The fact that they were hosting yoga on the deck of the ship, it was super cool.
We did the first ever witches paddle in the Northwest Arm this year.
You're paddling, you're working hard, you work up quite a bit of heat.
And then we would look at each other like, should we jump in to cool off?
Kirsten called me up one day and said, have you heard about the yoga going on at the waterfront? And I said, no.
We are about to do a yoga class on the CSS Acadia, which is so cool.
I don't think I've been on that boat since I was 10 years old. I'd love to do yoga on that boat.
So it was really exciting that Caitlin and I got to go out and try doing yoga somewhere very different.
So I'm glad I got invited to do this today. It's nice to be the student instead of the teacher for a change.
And that means we're like, it's right on time. Yeah.
I started doing yoga about 10 years ago. I finally plucked up the courage to get my yoga teacher training, and I flew to Colombia to do that. So you're in this beautiful valley of mountains called the Sierra Nevada, which the Colombians actually call El Corazón del Mundo, which is like the heart of the world. Very special place.
Doing yoga outdoors is always something extra special because you get to really drop into the elements around you. So looking at the sky and the clouds in the sky, but also feeling the wind, little lovely things that you notice.
Some of the amazing things about Acadia is that she survived the Halifax explosion. She is a veteran of both world wars. She has a triple expansion steam engine that is sort of Edwardian and Victorian engineering, and she's a number of really, really great examples and kind of an exemplar of her time and of the craftsmanship. It's a very suitable space to be on deck. There's lots of wide open spaces. It's remarkable, but when you are a historic research vessel and had lots of boats stored on deck previously for all of your previous jobs, then all of that deck space really opens up once you've taken all the boats away. So there's lots of open space. And I don't think that the boat builders in the early 1900s were intending a yoga class when they built those great big open spaces and those lovely wooden decks on board, but we sure benefit from them.
Yoga can happen anywhere. It's so nice that you don't need any equipment. It's nice to have a mat, but I do yoga just in the sand at the beach, on rocks, on hikes. I love just pulling out random yoga poses in cool places.
Hands come to heart center, eyes at your fingertips.
I was really excited when it was brought up. I don't know how many other places you would get to be able to do yoga on the deck of such a historic ship. It's over 100 years old, and we are filling the deck with yoga mats and folks in their nice yoga gear and this very beautiful environment and lots of people passing by. So it was a really wonderful kind of catchment of all of these people who are here to enjoy this one class, and it was really, really a great environment to do it in.
That was the thing that I loved about yoga on deck, is that they had two instructors there. So Jen was leading the class, just explaining the movements, guiding us through. And then Kelly was going around and doing minor adjustments with people. And you'll find that with yoga, like it follows a very specific pace. So yoga instructors have to be very intentional because they're not necessarily going through the motions with you. It was just so relaxing and soothing.
Sometimes the practice itself is just to be present despite the things going on around you, but certainly on those beautiful sunny days, it was very invigorating to hear the sounds of people enjoying the waterfront space, to have the sun streaming down on us. I felt it uplifted everyone and gave them a lot of energy.
But focus on the lift of your top fingertips. If the right arm lifted is difficult for the right shoulder, your right hand can come to your right hip instead.
So Jen is fantastic with collaborating with local businesses And so basically she had a connection at Maritime Museum, and we collaborated with them. We were initially going to start rooftop yoga, which also sounds fantastic. But yes, needless to say, the first yoga class that I taught, I was very excited to blend in the intro of saying, welcome to your 45-minute yoga class on the Acadia.
As an adjunct to the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, Acadia is open during museum hours for guests to come on board and visit and kind of see. And we're hoping that she can become a community hub so that people can actually get engaged and respond to it and use it and enjoy it. Since it's such a large part of the waterfront and since it's going to continue to be such a large part of the Halifax waterfront.
The Acadia is the largest artifact within the Nova Scotia Museum, so it is in fact considered an artifact. So yeah, practicing on an artifact, and one that, even though it's docked, does move and kind of ebb and flow with the water, that created an interesting experience for people.
Fine. Walk your hands forward to the top of your mat, pivot on your toes. Plant your palms, step to high plank. At one point, big breath in. Leave your lips at center as you empty. Keep your arms as they are, unravel your legs.
Well, I've always been very passionate with blending hands-on adjustments in my yoga classes. So it was great to pair up with Jen that day and do just that. And if I can put my hands on an area that allows students to ground themselves and then dissolve some tension that they don't even realize they're holding on to, I think that's a very positive thing to do.
And I think people really missed that. I know I missed that during COVID. You know, going up to your mat with a mask on and no teachers touching you or helping you felt very, it felt very different. So I'm really glad to be back to that stage of people being allowed to touch each other.
That was amazing. I loved it. The girls, Jen and Kelly, did such a fantastic job. And I have to say, like, Kelly gave me the special treatment. When she came around to do adjustments, just like, she had a very relaxing presence, and it makes it so easy when you can like breathe into another person like that.
Kelly could see the tension in our necks. She came around and gave us a lovely massage, told us to breathe and relax into it.
It was so nice. I'm like sweating, and she's just there like, oh yeah, it was lovely.
Always makes you feel great. Like my body feels nice and loose now, not stiff from dancing all weekend. Yeah.
It was lovely to have Caitlin and Kirsten join us for the yoga class on the Acadia that day, and being able to see the grins on their faces and really collaborating with the community during a 45-minute session was just a wonderful experience for everybody.
Please tell Kelly we loved her neck massage.
We've gotten a lot of feedback from students that it's something they missed, and people absolutely melt when we're able to offer that to them again. So it's been a nice add-on after so much distance between us and our students. Yeah, so I'm glad you appreciated that.
I think it's super cool that the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic is looking for new ways to invite people out and have a different experience.
And that's been kind of the coolest thing, is having people come on board who have never been on board before. Being able to kind of change the image of Acadia to include people who may have not felt welcome to come on board by having boat building classes and having yoga classes and having music nights on board. More people can enjoy it and enjoy the benefits of having it in the city.
That's what stands out to me, is because when you do something unique, you're gonna remember that day so much more than if you just kind of had a boat tour or you saw a few artifacts in a museum. It's like, oh no, I actually went there and I shared this moment with people, and it was something really special.
It was really cool, like looking off in the side, the peripheral vision of seeing the water and a couple tourists walking by. It was a neat experience.
So yoga on a ship is a really unique thing, but what's about to happen next is really unexpected.
Our experience with the witches in the Northwest Arm went from 2 witches to over 50 witches.
We did the first ever Witches Paddle in the Northwest Arm this year. It was a lot of fun. There was good magical energy in the air.
When we started, we arrived in the parking lot, and I pulled in. I was first. I was before everybody else. And I just saw all these witches and these kids dressed as witches and these dogs dressed as witches, and people were just pumping up paddle boards, and I'm thinking, I don't have that much effort in me. And I went for the canoe, which was, you don't pump that up, so it was good.
We traded in our yoga mats for witches' paddles.
So there was like paddle boards, there was kayaks,
And canoes and walking around on land.
there was dogs, there was women, there was warlocks.
Everywhere you looked, there was a witch.
Can't think of a better thing to do on a Saturday morning.
Trying to tap into my witchiness a little more. I think I've lost it a little in the last few years.
It's a witch move.
After the crystal experience.
Yeah, it's reawakening. Yeah.
The Witches Paddle is, I suppose it's an event that has popped up in the stand-up paddleboarding community. If you see a witch on a paddleboard, like the silhouette looks like they're holding a broom.
I want a black one. Yeah, it's all about the color.
I think it's a fun Halloween event. We've seen it in other cities like Vancouver and a lot of other coastal towns. So we thought, let's do it here.
Well, that's fine. So, yeah, a little high, but that's fine.
A little high for me.
That was really fun because I didn't expect so many people to show up, and I certainly didn't expect everybody to dress up, but everybody showed up dressed to the nines. Everybody was having a great time.
Yeah.
And then whoever is grabbing a canoe, I need a strong person to help me.
It was all ages, and I think now every year this paddle is growing because, you know, social media, people find out about these fun things to do, and we loved it.
I think it's perfect. Extra spooky with the fog coming in. Yeah. Hopefully we'll see some pirates too.
My fellow witchy friend.
Costume time?
Now it's costume
Transformation time? Let's go.
Gonna channel our inner witch.
Yeah.
I guess it all started last year when we were doing a dive off of Captain Dave's boat right by Deadman's Island.
It was Halloween, so we encountered some witches paddleboarding in the Arm. Apparently they do this every year. You guys are amazing! I love this!
You guys are my people. Happy Halloween.
This is our ocean playground.
It's nice to actually be part of the witch thing that we saw last year because I think we really wanted to do this last year. We got envious.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's the same witches that organized this. Because I remember when we talked to them last year, they were talking about how they did invite a few people and they wanted a bigger crowd out, but it wasn't the nicest weather. So it's kind of cool to see that it's also not great out today, but there's an awesome turnout.
But it makes it eerie.
It does,
It's just like going to Dead Man's Island all over again.
So the St. Mary's Boat Club, they jumped in after we had actually put it out to the community. They're like, hey, we want in on this. And I'm like, absolutely. Like, it's a community thing. Let's all do this together. And so we're on the Northwest Arm here. Great little body of water, very calm in the morning. That's why we did it early.
Good. Nice to see you, girl. What's up? Just, you know.
This is something I would like to do every day. Dress up as somebody else and just go and pretend life.
Definitely, always need a big hat. Big hat's my signature.
Yes, the hat is an extension of your power, right? So,
I think Jen looks great. She's got she got the whole dress going on. The feather boa really ties the look together.
I can't wait.
I'm ready now.
oh yeah.
Oh, nice
Look at this, what an entrance.
This is so fun.
Okay, I lied. Yours doesn't lock quite like mine.
Okay, we're gonna need more air.
I'm still getting used to my inflatable paddleboard, and whenever we gather in a group, we always tend to be kind of like rushing to catch up with the crowd. So I did have to kind of pump it up a few more times, and I still wish in the end that it had a little bit more air because it was hard to paddle. I should have just used my magic to propel me forward, but you know, some days it's lacking a little bit. You gotta deal with the elements, and at least I didn't sink.
A lot of our friends were using stand-up paddleboards, but Jen and I decided that teamwork makes the dream work and decided to go for a canoe together. Neither of us had ever been on stand-up paddleboards before, so we didn't think that that day, which was kind of cold, a little rainy, a little windy, was the best time to try it out for the first time.
I got a witch. I'm a water witch.
I was excited to be on a paddleboard, and the Northwest Arm is a beautiful place, and it's exploring it from a different perspective than we normally do.
It was almost like nature was playing into our vibe for the day. We pulled up, and there was this layer of fog. It had a creepy vibe. There were, like, you know, the trees were turned orange, yellow, spooky colors. And, you know, to add to it, there's a bunch of witches out paddling on the water. So if that's not spooky, I don't know what is.
Jen and I have never been in a canoe together before, so it was kind of nice. She is really strong. I'm definitely less powerful than her. Her strokes were really propelling us forward, and I was just trying to keep up, really.
So basically, I think our experience with the witches in the Northwest Arm went from 2 witches to over 50 witches, and yeah, it was a very witchy kind of vibe down there, especially right around Halloween.
When you see so many witches in an area, I think it would cause the community to question what's going on. My work looks over the Northwest Arm, and there were people working weekend shifts. So when I came into work on Monday, they were like, "What's going on the arm? Do you know?" And I was like, "Actually, I was in the arm. I was a witch."
I was nervous when I woke up this morning. I had no idea how many people would actually show up because the weather was a little iffy at first thing, but I think we had a great turnout. I was trying to do a head count, but out on the water, it's really tough. But I think there was probably around 50 or so.
You're looking at the ocean, yes, but you could easily imagine that the sky was just, you know, covered with witches and that they're up to no good and what's going on here. This like mystical, magical event is quite spooky.
You know, you're paddling, you're working hard. You work up quite a bit of heat, and I told Sarah, like, I need to get in the water.
We both looked at each other like, should we jump in to cool off?
I think we need a boat dog too.
It was a perfect ambiance that day for a witch's paddle. It was cloudy, but you know, it wasn't cold. It was just beautiful. I love those kind of overcast days, and you know, it's nice to have an excuse to kind of like tap into your wicked side a little bit.
Boil, boil, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Quite the paddle now the wind's picked up, but this is the thing about magic is that you never know how it's gonna work out, but there's always a lesson in it for you, so hard work today. And the fog even cleared up for us. The witches cleared the fog away.
Julie and I were both on paddleboards, and we were wearing our 5mm wetsuits, which are our dive wetsuits.
I mean, it's October. It was just about Halloween. We were paddling, and the wind was just like beating at us in our face, and we were like working so hard, and I'm just like so hot.
And then we both looked at each other like, should we jump in to cool off?
So we just end up like launching ourselves into the water. That was the best part of the day for sure.
Happy Halloween for our ocean playground!
We jumped off the paddleboards. That was fun. But you see this big boat, like we can jump off of that and really make a splash. So, yeah, we swam over, or I think we paddled over and just launched ourselves from the boat.
1, 2, 3.
Kudos to them for jumping in the water. I did not.
I was half expecting them to levitate out of the water and scare us. Eee!
When they finally jumped in, it just looked so refreshing. I was like, oh, I kind of want to jump in the water.
When you're about to jump, that's when you're like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you just got to do it. I always just do it. You can't think about it. That's when you get a little bit nervous. But I like feeling nervous. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You can be a wet witch or a dry witch, doesn't matter.
We were in the Northwest Arm, so I shouldn't have been surprised that Captain Dave showed up. And, you know, he loves a spooky adventure, so he was definitely curious to see what was going on with the witch's paddle.
I don't suppose anybody would be interested in a spooky night on McNabb's Island, would they?
He's telling us about this tour that he does on McNabb's Island, which is essentially, he brings out guests and he tells ghost stories on McNabb's Island, which I've heard has a big history for creepy things and some kind of unpleasant happenings, so.
Yeah, well, this year we're doing ghost tours on McNabb's, so I thought maybe you witches might have an interest.
Absolutely, I would love to go. What's the experience like?
We're gonna head out just before sunset. And once we get over to the island, you guys can explore for 20 minutes or so.
If something starts moving like a Ouija board, I'm out.
Oh, you got this, Caitlin.
And then we're gonna set up some chairs and a little campfire and pull out the snacks and hot chocolate and get into some spooky things.
I'll go if you hold my hand.
Of course, I got you. We'll do a protection spell, it's okay. Have you been doing your protection spells?
I have been doing no protection spells, but I do carry a K2 meter with us just to make sure that there's no energies follow us home after.
He actually pulled out this meter, which is the K2 meter.
So this is our kind of protection meter. Lets us know if there's any energies around, and then when we get back on the boat, we just do a walk around.
Essentially, it takes readings on the electromagnetic field. It has a spectrum from green to red, with little lights that light up depending on how much electromagnetic field it's detecting.
Oh, look at all the red. Very
What does that mean?
radioactive. Well, I think by the estimation of the K2 meter, these are indeed real witches. These are very much spooky ladies.
There are so many unique opportunities popping up, especially on the ocean playground, right? It has so much to offer in this unique spirit. So as long as you are open-minded and curious and out there seeking adventure, you're gonna find it.
It's always nice to be on the water paddling, and we can't resist going for a swim.
It was fun. I had a good time. I also haven't been canoeing in a while, so it's always funny to do things normal in a different way.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. There were a lot of witches here too, which was so exciting to see because you're more powerful in groups, right?
It was great. I hadn't gone stand-up paddleboarding in a while, and I've never done it dressed as a witch, so it was really nice.
It's so exciting.
Excited to go for ghost stories.
Yeah, I love it. And I love just, you know, getting out this time of the year. It's my favorite time of year to cozy up by a fire. And yeah, there'll be so much excitement and energy and just who knows what could happen.
Kind of in the middle between science and spirits. We don't know what it is, right? It's the uncertain, it's the unknown. So that's what makes it freaky.
There's one spirit you can always count on.
That's the spirit of friendship.
Yeah, it is.
Wait.
Going from a witch's paddle, a little bit spooky, but mostly fun. And where we were headed next, McNabb's Island, had me downright scared. We're just those types of people, no matter how spooky, count us in. That's what an adventure is all about.
I'm looking around, I'm shining my light into the woods.
What happened next is not what I was expecting.
So I definitely didn't expect some creepy wailing screaming to come out of the woods.